All right, so example 1, we're going to show that they are inverses. So we're going to have to find their compositions both ways. So we're going to take f of g of x, and then we're going to take g of f of x. All right, so when I do the first one, f of g of x is going to get plugged into my f function. So f is my skeleton. So 4x minus 7. And what are we going to plug in? Good, the x plus 7 over 4. Now remember, we're just going to work this out using PEMDAS. PEMDAS says we multiply before we subtract, correct? So when we do this part here, remember this 4, that first 4 is over 1. And what can we do when we have the same number on top and bottom of a fraction? Cancel it, right? So my 4's are going to cancel. So I'm left with that x plus 7, and then I have minus 7. Well, really, I don't need the parenthesis now.
What about the 1?
Well, it could be all over 1, but do I have to write over 1? No. So I'm going to drop that parenthesis. So I have x plus 7 minus 7. What can we do now? Yeah, the 7 minus 7 cancels, and we get x. So this doesn't mean that they are inverses, but it means we have a really good chance, okay? Because one of them is equal to x. But in order to be inverses, they both have to equal x. All right, so now let's do the other one. So g of f of x. So we're going to take f of x, and we're going to plug it into our g function. So our g function is going to be our skeleton. So it's the x plus 7 over 4. And what are we going to plug in? Yeah, the 4x minus 7. Now remember, with fractions, you do what you can on top first, and then you do what you can on bottom, and then you put them together. So on top, I really don't have to have that parenthesis up there. So I got my 4x minus 7 plus 7 all over 4. Yes, I can combine my like terms on top. Negative 7 plus 7 cancels. So now I'm left with 4x over 4. My 4's will cancel, right? And so we're left with, it's not a plus or minus sign though. You're right, it is attached to the x, but it's not with a plus or minus sign, so it's a 4 on top and bottom being multiplied. So we can go ahead and cancel it. And so we're left with x, which is what we wanted, right? So are these inverses? Yes.